Hello and welcome to the trade setup. In this video we are looking at Richtech Robotics. This was a stock analysis request from one of the followers, and I wanted to let you know that anyone can make these requests and I'll most likely cover them, especially if there is an actionable trade setup to follow. And in the case of this chart, we actually have an interesting structure going on. So we may have an initial 5-wave move to the upside going on in this area, but it comes with a caveat that within this supposed wave 3 we did not manage to reach the ideal target. We only got slightly past the 100% extension of the wave 1, maybe we can say nearly to the 123.6% extension, but the ideal target was actually here at the 138.2% retracement, which brings me to my next point, that instead of actually considering that we have already topped here within a 5-wave move to the upside, that maybe we have completed the wave 1, we have here the wave 2, and the third wave may actually still be ongoing. Now in this interpretation, we would actually expect still another high. Unless we get it, we need to assume that either we have failed to form a more reliable structure and that this may be a more complete pattern in other counts, maybe something like a WXY, or that we actually have our initial 5-wave move to the upside. Now, in such a scenario, we have here a larger ABC movement in white, in which case we actually expect to still form a 5th wave within this white interpretation. Within this white scenario, we have already formed the wave 1, 2, 3, and ideally 4, and we are in the 5th wave right now, where we expect to form a larger ABC movement to form a more significant wave 3, once which complete, we expect a larger correction within wave 4 and then another 5th wave to the upside. Within both white and orange interpretations, we actually are tracking a large leading diagonal, but within the white interpretation, we expect still continued upside, but only as long as we hold here the internal area of support for a wave 4 correction, which goes down to the $3 level, the 61.8% retracement, which has actually already been achieved. We have even gotten a quick wick below this last level of support before creating the most significant reaction to the upside since this entire downtrend yet, and we are looking to see if we can create a continuation higher before we break this area of support and descend into one of the other interpretations. And at the moment, we won't necessarily be tracking a more bearish scenario that would actually lead us to new all-time lows, and instead we will be focusing here on a larger 5-wave move to the upside, basically the orange interpretation. But even then, we can see quite a severe correction if this is to actually play out, because the area of support for the orange scenario actually starts at the $2.2 level and extends all the way down to the 60-cent level. And while we certainly don't need to get to this last level of support, there is really nothing stopping us from getting there without actually affecting the probabilities in any way of further continuation higher afterwards, even within an actual impulse within the wave 3. If this orange scenario works out and we have here a 1-2 setup, the third wave to the upside is expected to have quite significant proportions and would be expected to have quite significant returns. And it wouldn't be just any wave 3, it would be an impulse, and it would be a reliable structure to look for a potential trade setup even after the initial wave 1, and we have here our wave 2 correction. But of course, this is if we cannot manage to extend higher in a more direct fashion in the white interpretation, which I'm sure it is actually preferred for many of you that we actually follow in direct continuation higher before facing a more significant correction, which honestly could take a very significant amount of time before it is complete. It could actually, and we have seen this across other stocks, after such a movement in a potential wave 1, we have seen a correction that could take actually many years, many months, could take many years. We don't really have a time frame to actually assume right now for such a movement. But with this wave 4 correction, we would have ideally already bottomed, as I said, but unfortunately we only have a 3-wave move to the upside to actually follow. Now this doesn't necessarily affect the fact that this can actually still work as a 5th wave, because again, within the wave 5 we only expect an ABC structure anyway. So if this manages to form here an ABC movement, and then this becomes a larger wave A, we get then another wave B correction, and then a C wave to complete the 5th wave, it would work quite perfect. But it is not a reliable trade setup to be used here for a potential 1-2 setup, or even within, again, an ABC, an AB setup, because again, we only have the 3-wave move to the upside, which is not reliable for a trade setup. And that is not even the only problem, because here we have only managed to create this reaction to the upside, this tiny one, after breaking here an internal area of support that we would be able to track for this wave B correction. So unfortunately, while it is not a sustained break yet, there is a good chance this may not hold in the end. Sure, it was only on the daily time frame that we managed to break this last level of support, and we already recovered it in the last trading day, but again, it is not inducing a lot of confidence for us to actually track a pattern to the upside that would extend higher with a lot of reliability. But again, as long as we hold here the 61.8% retracement, we can still track higher continuation, and as long as we don't break below the beginning of this wave A, which is at around the $2.8 level, we don't necessarily have an invalidation for this structure. But again, if we break below the beginning of the wave A, it would be a signal to us that this structure probably done. We should most likely expect the larger correction in the orange interpretation, if not something more bearish. And for now, we can maybe track even a larger area of support for the orange scenario that would be here between the $4 level all the way up to the $6 level. And then if we don't manage to break that, even if we extend higher, we could expect the larger correction within the wave 2 in orange to play out. And for now, these are the levels, this is the trade setup. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, don't forget to subscribe and let me know what else you want me to cover, and I'll do my best to do that in the days and weeks ahead. And until then, I hope you have a nice day, and I hope to see you in the next video. And yeah, of course, if we break the 78.6% retracement here in a sustained manner, it would be a signal that this structure is likely to extend higher within a wave 5. But for now, this is it. Bye bye.